Hello everybody, welcome to the Michael Finkley Show. I'm Michael Finkley. Today is Wednesday, September 2nd, 2020. New month, y'all. September is here. I'm telling you, these months are going by like minutes, seconds. Y'all, don't miss the train, okay? Don't miss the train. Get on board. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Michael Finkley Show, and ring that bell notification, and you'll receive an email from us saying, hey, new content is uploaded on our page. Thank you so much again to all our viewers, subscribers. We do this for you. Shows that you need to hear and that you want to hear. We're again here to inform, educate, and inspire. Thank you, thank you, thank you to our current viewers and subscribers and our future viewers and subscribers. We could not do it without you. Y'all, I tell you, these past few days have been, for me, emotionally, in the sense of a lot just going on in the world, you know, with racial this and injustice that, and police brutality this, and deaths, and COVID-19, and the list goes on. I'm not letting it get to me, but it's just a lot, right? It's a lot for all of us. And so this is why we need persons in office to change those things for us, to be our voice for us. And that's what today's show is all about, change agents within the world today. And we start by not electing a president, but it starts with our local persons, right? Our mayors, our councilmen, councilwoman, so forth and so forth and so forth until we work our way up to the highest office in the land. And so we have Alderman Vernon Matthews with us, and he's running for a House seat in the state of Connecticut, in the 72nd District of Connecticut. And he's going to tell his story. You know, he's going to tell us why the citizens of Connecticut should vote for him, why he should have this office. What have you done for the citizens of Connecticut, and so much more. And I tell you, it's a story. It's a show you don't want to miss. So when we come back, we'll have Alderman Vernon Matthews Jr. We'll be right back.
Next, we chat with Alderman Matthews. We'll be right back. On the next Michael Finkley, Monday, we have Mr. Patrick Patterson with us as he gives his input on the state of fatherhood today. It's a show you don't want to miss on the next Michael Finkley. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. As you know, that we love to interview persons with incredible stories and that are change agents within their own communities. And y'all, we have another change agent with us today. Introducing Alderman Vernon R. Matthews Jr., all the way from Connecticut. Alderman, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm well. Thanks for asking. Thank you so much. And thank you for being on today.
That's no problem. I've been looking forward to this since we talked last week.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was only supposed to be a 5-minute call, and ended up being the whole time we're going into work. So
right. Oh, I enjoyed that. I learned a lot about you during that conversation too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very, very comical.
Very much so. So, Alderman, you are a change agent within your community. How would you define that, and what makes you that change agent?
Okay, so a lot of times people think of when you get into politics that you're a politician. And I go around telling people I'm not a politician, I'm a public servant, because I'm serve the community. A politician will do anything to stay in office, where a servant is there to help, regardless of race, color, creed, political party, or whatever. Like I was telling you last week, by me being a third shifter, I do receive a lot of phone calls and messages at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and people are shocked that I'm at their house at 9 o'clock, or calling them back at 9 o'clock, asking them, okay, where's this problem at? I'm coming out to look at it or whatever. And they see me, it's like, whoa, what are you doing here? I'm like, that's what I'm here for, because like you said, I'm a change person, trying to make changes within the community. And in order for me to do those changes, I have to be visible. I can't sit back and be like, okay, yeah, well, I'll get in contact with this person and this person will come out. No, you're contacting me for the help. So I need to see it first before I send someone to go and look to see what can be rectified.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And you're from a community entitled Waterboro, if I'm not wrong.
Waterbury, what are you trying to be funny?
Waterbury. Okay,
Not
I'm thinking South Carolina. I don't know why.
from South Carolina, by the way, New Hampshire, by the way, Ohio. So
There's been a lot of places.
it,
Oh,
it,
Waterbury. Waterbury. And I do remember that when I was actually living up there. I travel a lot in that area.
mhm.
So what have you done for the citizens of Waterbury and there in Connecticut?
Okay, so I am a second term alderman for my district, which is the second district. It's made up predominantly of Italian, Hispanic, and Black cultures. And within the last 4 years, I also was a commissioner for the parks, which they gave me all the parks in the urban area. And one of the things we have a park that's named after Martin Luther King Jr. And it was one of the parks that was like one of the worst parks in the city. I
Wow.
thought we could get it to look somewhat decent. It's still not where I want it to be at, but it looks a lot better than what it was. But all the parks that were within my range, I fought for because, wanted the children to have some place to go to, the elderly to go to, and not only for them, but to also get rid of the riffraff, as far as the drug dealers, the drugs, the people that were sitting there every Friday, Saturday night getting lit. Go to your house, go to a friend's house, and have a beer. You don't have to be in a parking lot with your music playing loud at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning getting drunk. So those are some of the things that I've done. And also, I have fought hard for basically equality for all the citizens in Waterbury, especially my district, when they're going for jobs or anything in general. Just for us to be so far up north, to me, it seems like we're going backwards instead of going forward. And I look at cities that are almost the same size of us that are down south, and they're progressing. They still have Black neighborhoods, but they're thriving Black neighborhoods. My neighborhood looks like that girl Kim Kalick or K-Chick or whatever that's running in North Baltimore was actually Cummings' district. When she showed her video that went nationwide and everybody went crazy over, there's like 3 row houses that are in this picture. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, that's my district. That is my district.
Oh,
Because
wow.
what does my district look like? Like, it reminds you of The Wire. It's West Baltimore. It's you want to see good things, but you still see the ugly side of what low to moderate income is. And I think everybody should have a chance to dance and sit at the table instead of it just being one group of people being able to move forward. So like I was telling you last week on the phone, it's a group of people, including myself and a very, very close friend of mine. We have started the process of making a urban, well, just a credit union, but it's going to be for minorities and low to moderate income people. So,
Where did that come from? Where did that idea come from?
um, it's funny because my partner, he lost his mother January 7th of 2018, and I lost my dad February 12th, 2018. And we had been talking beforehand, listening to what our parents were saying, how it was growing up and different things that you would do. And we're like, we need to bring back a credit union that's for low to moderate and teach them how to know how they're being underbanked and stop going to the check cashing places and different stuff like that. So we were looking at all different aspects. And one day we're like, yo, we're going to create a credit union. We're going to create a credit union. The credit union's name is One Community Credit Union. I am one of the founders, and Lawrence Kevin Morrison is the other founder. And our board of directors is very diverse. We have, people that literally are living paycheck to paycheck that are on the board of directors, and then we have people that can literally write a check and don't even think about, okay, I'm going to buy a brand new car. Here's a check, and boom, walk right out. So that's one of the things that I want to be able to teach our people, that one, you don't have to rely on the dollar bill, but when you do have the dollar bill should work for you, not you work for the dollar bill. So
I get you on that. Definitely. Yes, sir. And you're running now for an office seat now. Talk about that and why this particular office.
okay, so once again, like I was saying, I'm in the second district, which is the 72nd district. If you're looking for a House seat in the state of Connecticut, we have the House and Senate, just like the federal government does. And then we're considered all the persons, where some places are considered council or can't think of what they call them, but we are I'm the governing for the city of Waterbury, but now I want to go and venture out and represent my district in Hartford, because of the despair and the blight and everything that I've seen over the last 14 years. Now, don't get me wrong, this district has been held by a Black person since 1972. But the first, well, I will be the first Republican to hold the seat come November 3rd. So, but it's like I said, it's a diverse community, and we're starting to see other areas within the town grow where we're going backwards. Crime is up. The murder rate is going back up in this area. A lot of drug use, and with COVID and other things happening, we're starting to see a lot more houses, especially up my way, which is considered the upper part of the district. We're starting to see houses being foreclosed on, or people literally just packing up and leaving their houses and walking away from their mortgages. So I want to be able to have it where people can understand, one, that the importance of getting in contact with your leaders, but also to understand that I'm not there just to sit a seat. I'm there to help out. And I think that's what's been absent for the last 14 years, is that we've had somebody that I guess we would say is more ceremonial than work related for what's the issues that are going on within the district.
Yeah. And we're all looking for that brighter day, right?
Exactly.
Citizens, officials, everyone's looking for that brighter day.
Okay.
And so you running for this House seat, you as an alderman versus you as a potential House seat, what would be different?
Well, I will be able to bring, instead of me fighting to get money to come into my district for a project, say to do $10,000 worth of work to a park, I can actually fight in Hartford to bring back more money to the district, so that not only the infrastructure for our sidewalks, roads, are having more lights on the streets that are considered high crime areas. I can fight for that stuff to come back, and then not only help to bring back more money to the city of Waterbury and whole, but basically bring stuff to my district. Find out how we can bring in more jobs. We do have a couple of empty factories that are here that you can easily find somebody, because our locale to New York City, Boston, and Providence. New York City from Waterbury is probably about an hour and 10 minutes. Boston is about an hour and a half, and Providence is about maybe an hour and 20 minutes, depending on which way you go. So, it's the center of the universe. So why can't we use it? And like I said, there's a lot of space in the North End that we can utilize those things and bring jobs back to people that are wanting to have a real job, instead of working McDonald's in the morning, going to Foot Locker in the afternoon, and then going to somebody's healthcare facility or to a hospital to clean toilets and stuff at night. Let them have a good job, and then possibly even having a chance for that job will pay for their education, so they can further themselves within their job.
Gotcha. Again, Amy, brighter day all
Right.
the way.
Are
all
today.
the way. Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
and then the funny thing is, like, how I got introduced to you, I have to shout him out, because if I don't,
He's
I'm
gonna
never,
get you.
never going to hear that in this. Anthony Brown was, when I went to Bethune-Cookman, he was the news director for
Oh,
WBCCA May 30. I was the jazz and, well, I was the jazz music director, but I also did some stuff with urban. And the year that he graduated from college, we went to Jack the Ripper. And my jazz show was the best smooth jazz show out of all stations in the country at the time in 1992.
wow.
So yeah, so that I was going in deep. I was going in deep, you know. So I have to shout out Anthony, because if I don't, Anthony's going to be watching this
Oh,
and
yeah.
give praise. And if I don't say Anthony Brown's name,
Mhm.
because see, I remember when Anthony was a big dude, and I know he's one of your frat brothers. So I gotta give him respect for that, and you respect for that. So you know, it's weird how networks work together to
Exactly.
do things, especially in these times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
All about connecting,
exactly.
building your network and your connections. It's what it's all, especially as I can say, especially now. Especially now.
Because
Yeah,
we a normal thing, you know. If you went back 9 months ago, we would actually be sitting in the studio face to face doing this.
exactly.
Now you're doing it
Exactly.
via Zoom, and you can literally edit and do everything that you have to do right from your house. So it shows you that it could have been done a long time ago, but it's a shame that something like this had to happen for people to connect and do the right thing.
Yeah, but again, it had to happen, right?
Yes,
We don't
yes,
understand it all, but we will buy it.
yeah, exactly. It's all in God.
That's it.
Whatever how we got to deal with it. That's how we got to deal with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's it. Now, Alderman, I'm very curious. We are divided among parties, political parties, when we are electing officials or what have you. Do you get a lot of slack because you're a part of the Republican Party as an African American male?
yes, I get so much slack that I actually get trolled constantly on Facebook,
Really?
because one of the things is, a lot of people think because I'm a Republican, I believe values of what's going on right now. I tell everybody I'm third generation Republican. My grandparents on both sides were Republicans. My parents were Republicans. My father was heavily into politics in the city of Waterbury, had ran for different offices, got a seat back 4 years after him losing his seat. So it it makes a big difference when you come from it and you understand what the values are to what it is today. It was the grand old party. Now, to me, it's the good old boy party, that, you know, they have their own agenda for certain things. And I ran for mayor last year, and I was seeking the nomination from my party, and I realized that, you know, as much work that I put in, the city wasn't ready for what I was doing. I had something that I called Get on the Bus Wednesday.
Yeah, I
And,
saw pictures of that. Yeah.
and like I was telling you last week, one of the things was the bus drivers started fighting over, if they saw me downtown to get a transfer, fighting over what bus I was going to get on, because they knew they had someone that was there that was listening to them as drivers, but also listening to the commuters that rode the bus. And I didn't just sit next to someone that was dressed up nice. I sat next to the homeless person that's riding the bus because he's trying to stay warm, or he's on the bus. She's on the bus to stay cool during the summertime. I spoke to them and asked them what they wanted to see in the city. Um, and did different things with different organizations, soup kitchens. I did a fundraiser that I told people, don't give me money, just bring cans. And I donated 2 trunkfuls to a local soup kitchen. And that was everything non-perishable. It was phenomenal. I did that on a Good Friday. And I learned so much from doing that. And that's like also, I know you're gonna bring it up, but I'm gonna throw it out right now. I also write books, but I'm
Mhm.
writing a book called Hated by My Own, and
Whoa.
it was basically me going from February of last year to present day, like June of this year, and how I had to deal with what my own community was saying, what my party was saying about me, and not seeing what the person really was about, what I was doing, as far as an elected official, as an alderman, as a former park commissioner, fighting for the citizens of Waterbury. I would hear, oh, he can't get in because he's black. Oh, I won't vote for him because he's a Republican. Oh, and these were the things that I would see on Facebook. I screenshot it. A lot of this stuff is in the book. It's like I didn't put people's name that said this stuff, but it's there because those things hurt. But also, like Michelle Obama says, when they go low, you go high, and that's exactly what I did. It was like, okay, it's time for me to just keep stepping forward, stepping forward, stepping forward. And I think the best thing that ever happened was the beginning of this campaign. Out of all of them that I've ever done, I really just reconnected spiritually with myself, spiritually with God, and I just did a cleanse. And you know, he's already shown me that victory's coming in November. He's already shown me, the big things that I'm going to do. And my thing is like now is the time, because we've never seen an election like this. Even when they had the pandemic back in 1918, we didn't see this because it was done and voting went on. This is the first time that literally people are going to be doing absentee, and there may be some early voting, and then there'll also be doing standing in polls. So with that, now here we go into the important thing. Regardless of who you want to vote for, whatever you belong to, I believe in, whether it's chat or if it's a party line lever or whatever, you pick the people that you want to see in office. We are the ones that are in charge of hiring somebody for 2 years or 4 years or 6 years. And during that time, we have to realize that we gave them that opportunity to be there. But that does not mean we have to renew their contract. See, unlike your job can terminate you 2 weeks after you get hired. Politically, they can't do that. You either have to do something where you're removed, or you have to wait until another election comes along. And we have to stop selecting these people that have been in office and that you feel like, oh, well, I can't vote because I have to keep him in office because he's done so many good things. If he has, name 4 things that someone that within your area that has done great. And if you can't name 4 things, then guess what? There's no need to give him 5 to do what he's got to do, because he hasn't done, or she hasn't done, what you or the collective of people that are around you are waiting to see to have done. Because, like I said, this is a different voting year, and I think numbers are going to be high. There's going to be some unrest, but I believe in the long run, things are going to work out the way that it's supposed to work out in the universe, in the atmosphere, or whatever. But we have to let people know there's power in the vote. There were black, there were brown, there were Italian, there were Jewish people that got killed to go down south to fight for voter rights. Just because you think, oh, well, my vote don't count. Damn right, your vote don't count. If you don't go out there and vote, it don't count. It don't count. So
Right, you're right.
wake up and you got to understand that you can split your vote. You can split your ballot. You don't have to go in and write D straight across the board, write R straight across the board, write independent straight across the board. You look at those people. You look at their character. You look at what they've done. You ask people before you go in to vote for 2 or 3 weeks, well, how's this person been doing? Especially if you're a new voter. How's this person been doing, or whatever? Because I think the new voter, or the voter that hasn't voted in a long time, they're going to be the ones that are going to decide a lot of these elections around the country and also nationally, because of the fact that people are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Lou Hamer.
And we can't keep going around allowing these people to want titles, because that's all they want is titles, and don't put the work in what that title means. It's more than just having a plate on the back of your car, or being at this thing or whatever. Like my dad always said, you don't want somebody to like you, you want them to respect you. Because at least when they respect you, you know, when they talk about you, they're not dogging you out. Or if they're dogging you out, it's because you did something wrong. For someone that like you, they can sit there and say, hey, how you doing, Mike? And then turn, as soon as you walk away, man, that Mike, I can't stand it. Now, why you have a pink shirt on night? You know, that right on him. Why, he should have yellow. He should have purple on. You know, but that's what someone that wants someone to constantly like them. That's all you get. Is you get false sense of hope. And I don't want false sense of hope for my district anymore. I'm tired of our people getting false sense of hope. That doesn't sound like a Democrat either. That sounds like
maybe you need to change. Listen. So let me ask you this though, because you know we're saying that we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. We should go out and vote and vote and vote. We said it a few years ago when we elected our first Black president. You know, that came to pass. But now, you know, people are saying this as well. I'm tired. But I don't care. I'm not going to vote. How can we encourage people just to go out there and make that change when so much is going on, right?
If anything, George Floyd, I don't care if you're Black, white, Republican, Independent, Democrat, Green Party, that 8 minutes and 58 seconds should make you get out and vote. That's it. That 8 minutes, 58 seconds should make you get out there and vote. Because that shows you, granted, who cares what he's done in his past? That man should not have died that way. How many times have we seen in the past and in the future, right now, where we've seen other things happen and people are taken away peacefully? Why does it always end up when it's someone of color that we need the demise of some type of firm? I love being Black. I know I'm gonna die being Black, but I don't want to die at somebody else's hand. I want to go when God tells me it's time. He's like, all right, you know, did what you had to do. Come on, we're gonna go up there and bring your drum set, and you can play and do whatever you want to do up in heaven. You know, I don't want to go before it's my time, and that's one of the reasons why we need to get out and vote. Because if you're not paying attention to what's going on and what really needs to be done, then there's something seriously wrong with you. Or you got people that you believe two different narratives. Because like I was telling you before, I work in third and I watch a lot of news at night. And when something breaks at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's totally different than when I see it at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning, because it's an edit of an edit, another edit, because each program has a different editor, has a different producer, has a different executive producer. So they're going to say, okay, well, we don't need this because this is going to scare somebody. So let's put this and then do this. But then you see like the original report. People are like, oh, that's fake news. That's fake. No, it's not fake news. That was the actual happening that broke. And it broke that news. Long gone are the Walter Cronkite's on all those guys that literally smoked a cigarette and showed you what really happened. You know, now it's, let's see where we can get the money from, or where we can get people riled up the most to do whatever. Because we're talking about Black Lives Matter or whatever, but why in Chicago, why in Houston, why in New Orleans are we killing our own on a regular basis every other night? And we're not arguing about that. I think that right there, especially what we've seen the numbers that come out of Chicago, Illinois on a regular basis. And Cleveland was just as bad at one time, but they've cleaned up a little bit. But we see those numbers, but we don't hold ourselves accountable for that. I'm like this. Yes, I matter. Every black man matters. Every black woman matters. Every black child matters. Every uh, parent, grandparent matters. But when you only want to look at one side of it, really, are you saying that's the only reason why somebody matters? Because, I had someone that was murdered in my district last, not this Friday, Friday before last. And there was no uproar, but there's still uproar about other stuff that's going on in the city. I'm like, why isn't there any uproar about this young man that was at his house and was shot, and there was nobody saying anything about it? Like, that was a black person that lost their life. They didn't get up that morning and say, God, you know what? Kill me tonight. The person that pulled the trigger. You gotta look at it this way. God, when I get up, when I get out, go out tonight, I'm gonna kill somebody. No, there was circumstances that happened, but nobody's talking about it. And I'm tired. I'm tired of being the black man that cares, and people don't see it that way. We need more people like you, myself, and a couple other people that you have interviewed that are really out here to make a change and want to see a change, regardless of what you do. We want to see a change because this is our time. It's literally our time, and it was given to us, but we're not taking advantage of it. Well, you did take advantage of it. You took advantage of it. I'm proud of you on that one.
Thank you so much. And Alderman Matthews, more to come. We're going to talk about trending topics that are happening in our nation right now, but we'll be right back.
Coming up, we cover the trending topics of the nation with Aldermen Matthews. We'll be right back. The Finkley Experience is an educational consulting firm that specializes in first-generation education. We assist parents and their students with the college process. We train school administrators, and we also partner with colleges and universities to assist with their first-generation population. To learn more about our consulting firm and to purchase our book and workbook, please visit our website at thefinkleyexperience.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. We're still chatting with Alderman Vernon Matthews Jr. today out of Connecticut. And I tell you, we're just having an awesome time with this conversation, awesome views. So, trending topics within our nation today. What are your thoughts of President Donald Trump? Well, you're smiling real hard.
And people that know me know that that wasn't my choice to come out of the RNC in 16. I was looking at either Rand Paul, who is not only an attorney, but he's also a doctor, and he wanted to fix Obamacare, not ratify it. And what I meant by fix, he was like, there's loopholes that when we signed all this off, there were things that could be fixed. So everything would move smoothly. So that he was always my pick, and Mitt Romney were my picks because one, they were more family orientated and cared more about the community than what most people that are involved in this game they call politics, are doing. So, but yeah. So
Do you think that President Donald Trump will be good for us for the next 4 years?
I don't know because judging by what's going on right now in the world, some people say it's great for business. Some people say it's caused a racial divide. And then you have people that say, well, Obama had the chance to fix racism or whatever. You can't fix something in 8 years that's been going on since 1629. I'm sorry. You can't fix something that's been going on that long. And then not only that, you really can't say, you got your freedom papers and all that because we didn't get until Juneteenth. And then when we got the freedom papers in, we really didn't get them. We were supposed to have got them in 63. That didn't happen. And then in 65, we all know what Lyndon Baines Johnson said. I sign this into law and I'll have every Negro, chink, and Puerto Rican voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And we're 55 years out, and we see that's where the make of the matter is. And, you know, like your fellow Alpha brother that was met his demise in 1968 at the Lorraine Hotel. He said, you know, he would prefer for someone of a conservative value with liberal ways to run a country and be able to sit down with someone than to have it where it's just conservative and just liberal. So, you know, when you look at your elected officials that are out there, you know, don't look at somebody that's going to make you money. Don't look at somebody that's going to sit here and ridicule you or whatever, because me being a father of two daughters and a son, I think if I was on a bus being interviewed by somebody and they said they were going to grab somebody by that, I'm sorry, they would have kept, they would have, because Vernon ain't always been holy, and Vernon ain't always been a politician. Vernon also has a brown liquor Vernon, and they would catch them, they would caught them hands, because, you know, that's, to me, that's utter disrespect to say that about a female or whatever, or think that it was funny to say something like that. So when we look at what's going on in the country, we really have to sit back and think about, you know, they talk about the coons and this, that, whatever. And it's not really, if you're a Republican, you're not a coon. And if you're a Democrat, you're not an uneducated black person. What you are, you're going by what your views are and what your values are. And you may be a Democrat because you live in a state where you have a great governor or a great mayor that's in your city that has done great things for your community. So that's what makes you the way that you are. And then same way on the other hand, you have somebody that's done great things and you're willing to go and join that party because you have seen what has happened with those issues. So when you're at the point of going to the ballot, that's what I was talking about earlier, is that when you go to that ballot, you have to look at and see and understand where people are coming from. Do I think it's basically what they said in 16, is like the worst of two evils. The ticket, I think, would probably on the Democratic side would have been better if it was the governor from Minnesota and Kamala, or the governor from Minnesota and Corey. That would make more sense. With Joe has a pass, just like Donald has a pass, and people are going to be like, well, it's you know, the worst of two evils is this, is that. So you have to really think about these next, what's less than 70 days from the physical election. So you really have to think about what you want as a person, what you feel as a person. Don't look at the ads, because that's what they are. They're attack ads to make everybody look negative. You have to think about, what do you want to see for the next 4 years? Or if the 4 years comes down to what people don't want to see, what can you do for the next 2 years that's going to govern that person? Because a lot of people forget, the House and the Senate controls. He's a mayor, a governor, the president is just a figurehead. He's ceremonial. He signs stuff. He can never say, oh, I'm writing this law. He can't write a law. Only thing he can do is sign. So they have to know the checks and balances. They have to know the ins and outs of what the executive branch is, why the executive branch was created, and why there's 3 tiers to that. So you have the House, the Senate, and then the president. And everything goes up. He can sign something into law, into whatever, but he cannot say, oh, I'm right, I'm doing this, I'm going to do martial law, I'm going to do that, or whatever. It has to go in front of a body for them to vote on it, to say yay or nay, and then it goes Sam, vetoes, comes back, and then they got to fight it, reword it, do whatever they have to do. So,
yeah, well said. Next topic. Next topic. Pandemic, COVID-19. Do you think it's going to get better? And what are some things that you're doing as an alderman for the citizens of Walter Berry to keep them, in a positive light?
Well, being in healthcare and pretty much working the entire pandemic, people were at home. I saw it go from what would be considered the mild stage to where we see it at right now across the country in different areas. Um, I saw it where people were going into the stores without gloves, without masks, um, and social distancing wasn't there, and people were still moving along and doing what they had to do. Now they've got it ingrained into their head. I was at Costco this Saturday, and it was funny as all get out. This older lady is coming past me, and she needed to go down the aisle, and I'm at the aisle. I'm like, the social distancing is so stupid. It was like, last year this time you walked right past me, and she just busted out laughing because she was like, yeah, you're true. What you're saying is true. But because they instilled it in our mind, and Dick Gregory, another one of your brothers, he said, if you program this with what they want you to know, what are you always going to do with what they want you to do? So when you program your mind to the way it's supposed to be, then you work on things that are to be different. Far as the pandemic here, I've been one of the most outspoken aldermen when it comes to the children going back to school and our elderly. We're seeing the numbers that are happening with both populations, and I feel that they are still at risk. But like they also say, with every viral infection, you have to be out. You have to get the virus, because it's like you get chickenpox. If you don't have them, your cousins got them. Where's your parents send you to your cousin's house so you can get the virus and you're immune from it. So I think one of the reasons we saw a big spike in the Northeast, especially the tri-state area, our states, we opened up, and people were just doing whatever they had to do and not realizing, okay, yeah, you still follow social distancing, but you had to interact to get those germs. But the numbers, even though when we interacted and they found out people were positive, our number as far as mortality went down. Our mortality rate was higher at the beginning because nobody knew what this thing was and where it was coming from or whatever. They said it was from Wu-Tang Clan. I said it was actually Chubb Rock, but I'm being funny.
This dude over here.
I had to do a joke here, but we saw that as saying it was from Wuhan or whatever, and when you really didn't know where it was coming from, it happened in Seattle, and then all of a sudden it was on the East Coast. Like, how did you get from Seattle to New York City as quick as it did? And once we shut stuff down, everybody was like looking at what Mario Cuomo, what Ned Lamont were doing, and Patrick in New Jersey. They were like, okay, why is he shutting it down? Why are they not allowing people to come into the state? Or if they come in, they got to quarantine for 14 days. It's because it was a safety thing. Because we were seeing what you guys weren't seeing on the news. Local news was showing, morgues that were overpacked with bodies. The numbers of going up. When it spiked here in Connecticut, I remember working third shift one morning and getting out and seeing what the mortality rate was for the day before. And I'm like, Dad, we don't even see that during wartime in one day for the numbers. So it makes you think about what really is going on with the disease and how we need to look for cures, but I don't think that they need to be doing what they claim they're going to do. They're going to give it to healthcare workers and to Blacks first, because I also think of the Tuskegee experiment. And I ain't trying to get no syphilis, and you ain't putting no chip in me. It's bad enough. It's bad enough we got a chip right here to let you know where you're going every 5 minutes. I don't need a chip to tell me, okay, well, I was at such and such place. No, you weren't. You were at the Elks from 10 o'clock until 1. No, I wasn't. Yes, you were, because this is what the chip said.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
That's I'm not looking forward to that, but I
No
believe
one is.
I believe we need to um, look for ways, sensible ways, to combat the cure and to work with health officials when they're telling us, "Hey, this is getting ready to happen." Don't guess them. Just do what they're saying, because it's not like they're telling you to stay home and not do anything. They're telling you to stay home because they want you to be safe. Um, it's a shame that they closed churches or wouldn't allow pastors to have their services, but the package stores were open. Okay, so you couldn't get the real spirit, so you had to get the brown spirit. So, but sometimes I look at it as, yeah, you just caught it. Sometimes you have to,
Stop it, Alderman.
as we progress, we have to look at the people that are out to help us, and not look at it as, well, they're telling me to stay home and I can't do this and I can't. Stop arguing. It's for your health. It's for your health. So.
Gotcha. And we don't want if we could prevent it, too many have died already.
Exactly. And it's a shame. And when they were talking about it coming, there was something about 1,000,000 something was supposed to die, and then how many people were supposed to be affected by it. And I'm like looking at it, I was like, okay, well, the numbers that they said as far as being affected is almost there, but we're not quite there as far as mortality. So I'm like, is this like Ebola, when Ebola came and it was here for 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, and then it disappeared? Or is it SARS, when SARS happened and it was here and then it disappeared? So we gotta look at it as, was this a fear tactic? Was this something that they configured that was mind control that they can do? Or were these true cells that were attacking the body and causing mortality?
Yeah.
And I think only person who knows the answer to that is God.
Yeah, I don't want to person to resolve that. We're gonna leave it up to him. uh,
So,
Final topic.
okay.
Your book. Your book. Tell us about your book.
Right. I am a author that has been around for a minute. I have written 4 novels on the urban erotic side. This one is more, it's based off of me, like I was saying earlier. I run for office, and the different things that I came across running for mayor and also afterwards. Um, when you get into public service, you get in to help people. And when you see how people write about you, talk about you, and then you got to still sit there, smile, and laugh when you're in front of them. And it's the ultimate what Walter, Eddie, and I forgot what the original member, but it was Backstabbers. You really see what that song was about, because they exactly what they would do. They were smiling in my face and could not wait to get and talk about me. But the cool thing about social media is everybody wants to be your friend when you're doing something, and they forget to block you when they're gonna talk about you. So when you see your name, then you can screenshot stuff until you watch what the conversation goes. And not one time that any of the people that helped help me create this novel ever speak out and say, you know what? Why are we talking about this dude? He has done so much for the city. He's done so much for his community. He's fought for us when nobody else would fight for us. And I didn't see that. What I saw was, he thinks he's all that. He wasn't the person that we wanted to run, so that's why he didn't win, and all that jazz. So I sat there and I was like, okay, so you gonna say this? You gonna say that? And I was just trying to come up with different names, and I was like, what would be the most effective storyline or whatever? And I was like, hated by my own. And publicists that I work with and my literary agent, basically, they started laughing. They're like, yo, Vernon, that's the best thing you could ever come out with, because it's literally what you have talked to us about over the past couple of months, past couple of weeks. You're literally living that. You were hated by your own. You were hated by your party. You were hated by people of color. So people didn't understand that you wanted to make a difference. And then once everything is said and done, and what you said was going on, now they're seeing it, and they're like, oh man, I should have voted for him, because, or I should have helped out a little bit more because he was saying this, and now we're living it. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. You can't go backwards. You can only go forwards. But sometimes you have to be mindful of what you write. Be mindful of what you put out there on social media, because I'm a person just like anybody else. Everybody has their story, and if someone is doing right for you and trying to do right for your community, you allow them to do what they have to do. Allow them to do that work, because that work was given to them for a reason. It wasn't given to them to be up there and saying, "Oh, I did this. Yeah, that street over there, I put that new street in. That sign right there, that's my sign." No, I can care less about that sign. I can care less about that sidewalk. But what I care about is the safety, that you got a sidewalk in front of your business, and people are able to walk safely. And what I care about is that you got your street is new, because you don't have to dodge potholes and possibly hit somebody or hurt someone because you're dodging a pothole. That's what I care about. I'm not going to toot my own horn, because that's not my job. I'm not supposed to do that. And I tell people all the time, like, I go there like, well, you weren't at this event. You weren't at that, because I'm not going to be at an event to eat a hamburger so you can sit there and talk about me on Facebook. The only time we see them is when they got food. Or the only time we see them when they got liquor. No, I'm there to make a difference. And if I can't make that difference, then like I've told my wife, I was like, if I can't make a difference, that's when I get out of the game. That's when I go back to being Joe Public and just sit back and enjoy life, go play golf, go coach basketball, enjoy my family, cook out on the grill, eat me some chitlins, some cornbread, and and just enjoy life, because like I said, I didn't get in this to hurt anybody. I didn't get in this to do any wrong to anyone. I got in this to help. And as long as I can do what I have to do to help my community, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And that leads me to my final question for you, Alderman.
Mm-hmm.
Your final plea, I guess you can say. Why should the citizens of Waterbury vote for you for this House seat?
Well, my actions speak louder than my words, and my vision is even bigger than that. If you've seen what I've done in the last 3 years, sitting down at the Board of Aldermen and seen where I've come from 4 years ago, when I was literally my own hype man. When I tell you, it was like going to a Public Enemy concert, and I was Flavor Flav, because I was my own hype man. But now I get it, and I listen to the people. Well, I was listening to them then, but I listen to the people, and I make sure I take a ride through my district every day when I come into Waterbury. I go at least 3 or 4 streets in my district, whether it be in the upper part of the north end, the middle part of the north end, or the lower part of the north end. And I let people know that I've seen what they're talking about. If there's a blighted house that's on their street that there's possibility being used as a drug den or a prostitution den, I let them know, okay, I've seen it. I've gotten in contact with this person or whatever, and we're going to fix the problem. If I see there's potholes somewhere that weren't there 3 or 4 weeks ago, I get in contact with Public Works and let them know, hey, this is going on. I had, when we had the storm 3 weeks ago, when we originally started talking, one of my areas was hit really hard, and come to find out, they were supposed to have another street light, because the pole was wired for a street light, and the people didn't even realize it until I had actually talked to somebody from Eversource, and also looked on the map of Eversource, and it had it where there was supposed to be 2 lights on that street, where it was only 1 light. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks or so, these people will get it because it's starting to get dark now here earlier. So it's good for the elderly people that live on the street, plus the children that are walking home from school or either from after school programs or whatever. And, I just want the 72nd to thrive again. I don't want it to look like West Baltimore. We don't have Domino's sugar down in the harbor where it make it look a little bit better. We don't have the Raven Stadium where it can look a little bit better. The North End doesn't have that. We have houses that need attention. We have factories that need attention. And we need citizens that need somebody to fight for them and will understand what's really going on, have an open phone line, and answer their call at any given time. That's what this district needs.
Yes, sir. And with that said, Alderman, thank you for being on and sharing your story. And we wish you well this election season. Thank you.
Thank you. And this won't be the only time that I'll be up here.
No, sir.
We'll be back several times because just like your counterpart that is originally from Cuyahoga County in Cleveland, Jeff Fox, or better known as Jeff Bivens on WBLS and Sirius XM. Every time I go down to New York, it's like, yo, why has it been 2 years since I've been down to see you?
Right.
Because before the interview lasts long, the actual talk is longer than the actual interview. Because we just sit back and we talk about everything. Because I make it comfortable for me to express myself. So I definitely appreciate being on. I wish you the best of luck with your show. And, I hope that God just keeps his hands on you and just keep moving you in the right direction because you're definitely doing the right thing. And I got to once again shout out Anthony Brown. And
yes.
Some Cookman behind me, so he can't talk. I see. If he says anything, I'm like, man, be quiet. Appreciate the time, and I definitely will look forward to seeing this and sharing this all over everywhere. And everybody, please, whatever you do, subscribe to his channel because he does have some great content. And Mike, like I said, I wish you all the luck, and you are one of the best interviewers that I've been in front of in a long time. That even though you controlled the interview, you still did and allowed me to be me.
Exactly. That's what
minus how we talked last week on the phone.
Right.
Say any of the blue words that I said last week. Did he actually say that? No. So, but we had to warm up beforehand. You heard me and my wife talking and caught you off guard, so you were laughing.
that you did.
But I appreciate it, and thank you once again for allowing me to be on the show.
On the next Michael Finkley, Monday, we have Mr. Patrick Patterson with us as he gives his input on the state of fatherhood today. It's a show you don't want to miss on the next Michael Finkley. Everybody, welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. I hope you got something from the interview. And what I really want persons to get, thank you. Let's go all the way back. Thank you, Aldermen Matthews, for being on today. We really appreciate you. Thank you for your service thus far to the whole. Okay, Connecticut is part of the whole. Okay, so thank you for your service and best wishes to you and your team in November. Connecticut persons, go vote. All right, go vote. Everyone in the world, the nation, go vote, please. Please go vote. It matters. Okay, it matters. Go vote. And what I really want you to get out of this is that it is okay to question those that are running for office. It is okay to voice your opinion about what's happening within your surrounding, your environment. All right. If you yourself don't see the change that you want to see in your community, y'all, be the change. Be the change. Run for an office. Volunteer somewhere. Do something to make your environment better than what it is that you want to see. All right. Educating. All right. Educating. That's why we're having persons on our show. We want to educate them on various things. What's happening around you. We want to inform you of what's happening as well. A lot of people just don't know, right? All right. A lot of people just don't know. And we want to inspire you to be all you can be for yourself and the community around you. Make a change. Make a change. Make a change. Alderman saw that a change needed to be made where he was, so that's why he ran for office. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay? What are you doing? My thing as of now is to give people a platform to speak and to share so others can be informed and inspired by what they're saying. This is how I'm contributing this small gesture is helping thousands, millions, all right? So be that change you want to see in your community, all right? Be the change. Be the change. That's all. Be the change, all right? Someone said a few days ago that the people that voice their opinions the most is the one that don't count. Yeah. Be the change, y'all. That's all. Be the change. Aldermen Matthews, thank you so much. Thank you again. We'll see you next time, though, okay? All right, don't go far from us. On the next Michael Finkley, we are chatting with Mr. Patrick Patterson, and he is chatting with us about the state of fatherhood today. I tell you, they call him Mr. Fatherhood, right? And he is an expert in this field. He has a testimony to tell and wisdom to share. So Monday's show, see you Monday. All right, Patrick, see you Monday. If you have not already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Michael Finkley Show, and ring that bell for notification. You'll receive an email from us saying, hey, new content is uploaded. Okay? If you'd love to be a guest on The Michael Finkley Show, please email us at michael@thefinkleyexperience.com. Thank you so much for watching us today, and we will see you on Monday. Okay? Have a good one.